What's up, y'all? It's Southern Curl Tara here with a little therapy for your hair. Today we are talking about what I learned from my main bios report on my hair. It's been about 3 months since I received my report results, and I had a great conversation, a great chat with Rosie C on my YouTube channel in the comments under one of my videos, and she posed the question, are there things from the report that you have put into practice, and what have you learned since you received the report? So I thought, what a great idea for a video. I, of course, did a video of the results when I received them and just how fascinated I was with their tips and their advice, as well as their assessment of my hair. But a lot has changed since then. So I just wanted to do this video to tell you about some of the key takeaways from the report and how it affected my routine, as well as how it affected my progress with the curly girl method. So the first thing actually was that when I saw the report and realized how different my hair was from the root area down to the tip area, I was ready to get the last bits of damaged hair cut off. I had a haircut at the first of the year and needed to take off about 5 inches of hair, but I wasn't quite ready to take that plunge just yet. So I'd only taken off about 3 inches of hair before I sent in my samples to my main bio. And once I saw the report and saw that my hair health and the porosity at the root was different than what was happening at the tip, and I just saw it in scientific terms on paper with pictures, I immediately made an appointment to get my hair cut and take off the last 2 inches of really damaged hair. So that was the very first thing that I did once I received my report. The next thing actually was interesting. I had been suspecting that I maybe needed to experiment with protein, but because of all of the things I had read about the possibilities of protein overload, I had been very nervous about doing that. And after seeing the results and saying that my hair could benefit from protein, possibly even protein applied on a regular basis, especially because of my hair goals, which were to have more consistent curls and for my curls to be more curly. So in order to promote my natural curl and have more structure to my curls, they suggested that I get some neutral protein filler, and that at a minimum that I add that into my Uncle Funky's Curly Magic. They said that was an easy way for me to be able to control the amount of protein that I used and choose to use it or not based on how my hair was responding. And so one of the first things that I did was that I started to add that neutral protein filler into my weekly deep condition, and wow, I could tell a difference after the very first time that I had curlier hair. There was more shrinkage to my hair after I was finished drying it, and it just really looked so much better. So that is something that I have held on to, and actually I not only use it during my weekly deep condition, but I do add it into my Uncle Funky's Curly Magic on a regular basis as I'm styling my hair, and I've been very pleased with the results. So I'm not sure I would have been that aggressive with it had I not received the report from my main bio. The other thing is that I've not really, now that I've seen how my hair has responded, I haven't shied away from products that have some of the proteins that are easier to get into your hair shaft, such as the silk amino acids and other things that may have amino acid in them. And there's a long list. If you just Google it, I'm sure you'll find it. But one of my favorite products, or one of my favorite lines now, is the Curls line, CURLS, and I do like their leave-in treatment that smells, it's Blueberry Bliss leave-in, and also their Curl Control Jelly. That is something that I've been using during my refreshes, and both of those products do have proteins in them. So if you're protein sensitive, you may not want to try them, or you may want to use them sparingly. Finally, one of the things that I learned was about the products that I was using, and I did the kit that allowed me to have 5 products reviewed, and it also had a Q&A after the report was run. Now, I have not even asked any questions because the report answered so many questions for me that I've thought, what in the world would I even ask unless it was just a question about more of the products or something like that. I truly didn't have any more questions, at least not at the time. So my 3 questions are still outstanding, and I really took a hard look at the information that was offered in the product review. Now, praise Dolly, my favorite #1 product, Uncle Funky's Curly Magic, got the seal of approval, and I'm so happy about that because that was one that I thought, this has been not only a game changer but a life changer for me, and I was just fearful that for some reason they would say that it wasn't a great thing to use, but that was not the case, so that's great. Great news, and I just purchased my 2nd salon size of Uncle Funky's Curly Magic, and so thanks to the Uncle Funky's team for responding to a tweet that I sent them asking about when the salon size would be back in stock. They tweeted me to let me know it was, and I ordered right away. So thanks guys for that great customer service. The thing that surprised me a bit, because I felt like I was getting some good results with it, but had only been using it for a short time, was the Gvp Conditioning Balm. And this is a generic version of the Matrix Biolage Conditioning Balm. And what they said about it was not that it was bad for my hair, that it wouldn't work with my hair, but they actually recommended that I not use it as a leave-in, and that is what I was doing. So I stopped that right away, and actually, based on the way that my hair was transitioning, I very rarely use the leave-in. I use it maybe more on refreshes than I do immediately after getting out of the shower. They did say that it was fine to use as a conditioner when you were going to rinse it out and maybe just leave a little bit of slip in, but actually, since I have had the last parts of my really gnarly hair cut off the bottom of my hair, I have been finding that I can wash and deep condition once a week, and I'm needing far less conditioner and certainly far less leave-in. Now, some of that may be because the weather is changing here. We're just getting into summer, and I'm in a very humid environment, so perhaps it's because there's extra moisture in the air and I just don't need that extra step. But I have just slacked off of the Gvp Conditioning Balm altogether. I do still keep it in the shower, and it still is a product that I like, and I do think it was a game changer for me when I started transitioning with the Curly Girl method, especially early on when I had so much damaged hair. I was having to put a lot more product in those damaged parts in order to get results. The interesting thing that I learned from those product reviews were basically 2 things. One was that the dew point and some of the other environmental conditions really could have an effect on my satisfaction with the products and even what the products did to my hair. And because our environment here in Nashville is I don't know, it just swings in every direction. Like one day it'll be 30 degrees and the next day it'll be 80 degrees. And one night you'll have 30 degrees and the next night it'll be 75 degrees. You know, it's just too volatile and it's just too changing year round, truly. And so I just wanted products that I could really count on for my hair arsenal instead of having products that were so finicky that I was going to have to like check dew points and check out what was going on with the weather before knowing what to use. One of the things they recommended was that I use some film forming humectants, and Uncle Funky's Curly Magic is one of those. There are some hair gels that are some of those. So basically they're going to form a film on your curl and prevent the humidity from affecting it as much. And so there is probably a more scientific explanation to that, but they had me sold on just that very brief description and saying, you know, hey, for example, Uncle Funky's does this, and so I actually pair Uncle Funky's with a little bit of light gel these days just to give a little extra layer of protection, and that was a really great learning. Truly, when I emptied out some of the products that I had, I just wasn't even tempted to replenish them or even to look for anything else. There was one more thing that caught my attention, and just I experimented with it to see how I felt before, before deciding what I was going to do with the information. So one of the products that I had reviewed was the Diva Curl Believe In, and I was liking it at the time. I had used it on wash day, and I had thought that it did a great job of like plumping my curls, maybe even helping me have a little bit of a curl definition, or a little bit more curl. Now it does have protein in it, so maybe that's the result that I was seeing more than anything else. But what they indicated was that there was a product in there that, while it was Curly Girl approved, it was pretty hard to wash off, and they just said, you know, you may have a hard time getting this out of your hair, so just make sure you're clarifying. And I thought, gosh, I'm already having to pay attention to so many things in my life, not just with my hair. I don't really want that extra step unless it's like a miracle product. And so I used the rest of the tube, and I took it with me on a couple of trips, and I tried to refresh with it. And they also had just cautioned that because of the protein that was in it, it might be something that it was just finicky to use. So I tried it out a lot very intentionally to finish off the tube, and at the end I just decided I didn't want to buy it again. So that was also a big help to me, because I was getting great results with some of the other products that I was using, and I couldn't say that I was helping anymore. But what I did notice is the buildup issue started to become a problem, even if I tried to refresh with it just lightly. And so I wanted products that were more versatile. So I just ditched the Diva Curl Believe In after, you know, finishing out the tube, and again after getting those results from my main bio. There was something really neat that I was surprised to see, I guess, because I had not thought of it as a step in the process of doing your hair, maybe just one of those things that was occasional. They had just sent a little tip sheet or a couple tips about the routine and things that might work for you. And one of those things was a pre-poo, or to, you know, use some oil on your hair before you decided to wash it. And at first I decided I was going to try it all over my hair. I was going to try it really, you know, kind of full force. And first of all, it was hard for me to do. So after reflecting on the pre-poo and what the purpose of it was, I tried it one time on my whole head of hair and decided that maybe that wasn't for me, and maybe it wasn't for me all the time. Maybe it will work some for me in the winter. But what I did notice after doing the pre-poo, especially applying some oil around these parts of my hair and the top of my hair where I have got some really wiry white hairs coming in, is that those guys started to cooperate a little bit better. They started to fall in line and get into the curl pattern of the hair around it. And that was definitely worth it for me to give that a try. And again, I'm not sure that I would have done that had they not suggested in the report. There are just way too many tips and suggestions that fall through cyberspace into your lap, and it can be overwhelming. And so again, when you're thinking about some of these tips and tricks, you might need to think about exactly what it might do for you before trying it out. Not to say that you can't try some of these things with, very low risk, but sometimes we need to go acquire stuff in order to try it out, and that can get very expensive and stressful and cluttery. So anyway, I will say that I still think that this service is worth it. Having your hair analyzed and getting straight to the point of what your hair health is, what type of hair you have, and making some suggestions on the products that you're using was invaluable. After doing this report, my mom asked for one, so she got a report gifted to her for Mother's Day, and she is awaiting her results. And I've talked to a couple other people about it. I am not endorsed or affiliated with My Main Bio. I'm just a big old nerd and love the scientific approach and love knowing exactly what my hair looked like, what my hair needs in order to reach my hair goals, and also knowing the products that I had currently in my stash. Getting like a little bit of a review on those products again was so helpful. So if you are thinking about doing it, you might wait for a sale. They often do those around the holidays where you get like 20% off, or just put it on your wish list if you feel like that's too big of a splurge for you. But I think that it's worth it, far more worth it than trying every product in the drugstore and either having to take them back or just having to ditch them, or gift them to friends or whatever. So I do recommend that you do this if you are struggling with your hair, or if you're just starting out and thinking, I just want to cut to the chase and get to the point. This is a really great thing to do. They've added another scientist or two to their staff, and so they are actually caught up on their back orders now. So you should be getting your results in a timely fashion. I am really enjoying your comments and your dialogue in the comments section. So keep those coming. If you have questions or if there's content that you'd like to see me cover, send them my way. I am always working on new ideas and new material, and I will look forward to seeing you in my next video. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.